Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Destin.Troyce and you're watching Troyce TV, and for today's video I wanted to get on here and spread awareness about addiction, mental illness, and I wanted to get on here and also talk about ItsBambii and her recent spiral on TikTok Live where she's legit throwing up, completely falling all over the place, and completely just doing the most horrific things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I didn't want to believe it was true. I didn't want to believe it. But they did that. Oh God. I love y'all so. Everybody on my mother's side. Everybody on my mother. Y'all should never envy my life. My life is hell.
Now, if y'all don't know who ItsBambii is, let me refresh your memory. I've done multiple videos about ItsBambii for years. You know, she has done a lot of really interesting things on the internet as far as like a lot of public disputes, you know, outing her relationship on the internet, sharing a lot of gruesome things about her relationship, and overall just doing the most. You know, she went through a period in her life where she shared her relationship and eventually she found out that guy wasn't being faithful. Then at one point they were doing fake pranks and getting back together. Then there was this other horrific moment where, you know, she was making music and she was making diss tracks against her ex-boyfriend. And overall, it was a complete mess back in the year 2018. But she pretty much took multiple breaks on YouTube throughout the years. She would occasionally come on YouTube and come on the scene doing videos of her sister, doing videos by herself, doing vlogs of herself walking around and getting her life in order. And a lot of people just thought that she was just going through a midlife crisis back then and she just needed a break. She went through a period of her time where she was off of YouTube for a little bit. And then there was a point in time 3 years ago where it was very obvious that she was homeless.
I've been staying at this hotel. Of course, I want a place of my own. Wake up in the morning, go to it, you know. Don't have to hear room service. But it's better than having to be over somebody's house and they looking at you like, why are you here? You have company come over and they looking at you like,
I never forget 3 years ago, she posted a video onto YouTube implying and suggesting the fact that she was homeless and she essentially just wanted to eventually have her own place, which was weird because a lot of us think, aren't you doing well on YouTube? Don't you have over 1 million followers? How are you homeless? Why even suggest that you're homeless? But most people obviously dusted off. Her engagement, of course, suffered throughout the years and many of her followers did check out because it was very clear that there was something off about her. It was almost as if the core essence of her that made people gravitate towards her from when she was on Vine, from being on YouTube, you know, to then, you know, doing funny skits on Instagram, it essentially died. Her essence was killed and people didn't understand why. She then came forth and she made it very clear that she was severely on drugs because somebody had laced her.
I said sober life and all of this good stuff. And you guys was wondering like, what's going on? What was your problem? What was it? What was you on and all this type of stuff? I was on laced weed and didn't know it. Somebody that I loved in my family took me to a place, in a really weird place. And it was I got laced. And it was like the whole time of it, the whole time a part of it, it was like so crazy. I was on this, I was addicted. It was so crazy. I became an alcoholic. I got laced multiple times. Multiple times, you guys. A lot of you guys don't know about envious and jealous-hearted people.
Now, I'll be real, when I saw that a year ago, I didn't say this, but I'm gonna say it now. I knew that she was full of shit. Not because I'm trying to be mean, but because I know when someone is literally on drugs and completely just saying whatever the fuck they want to say to try not to look bad or be embarrassed. And I respected her for obviously wanting to keep her privacy private, But no one just outright laced you to the point where you started having a drug problem. It just doesn't make any sense, and it just simply doesn't really work like that. So I knew she was obviously using, and there were a lot of obvious signs because, you know, she took a break off of YouTube for a little bit and then popped up on the scene years later, and she just looked completely obliterated, you know, from being, you know, in public relationships to then coming out, making it obvious that she is somewhat homeless, to then coming out years later and she just looks completely wrecked. Like, people are pretty much not able to even recognize her. And mind you, she's literally still in her 20s. Literally last night, ItsBambii went live and she posted the most insane live stream ever. She only was live for a few minutes, but in her live stream, she made it very clear that her family can't be trusted and that they're legitimately trying to kill her and take a life insurance policy on her.
They poisoned me. And they got a life insurance policy on there trying to kill me. My family is trying to kill me. They poisoned me. I have everything documented. They all going to jail. And they laced me. And I have all the evidence.
ItsBambii has a severe drug problem and she definitely needs to go get some help. So when I saw her literally post this and say that her family are out to get her, that is one of the main side effects of someone having a drug problem. I don't know if any of y'all watching this has ever dealt with someone that has an addiction issue, but most people who have addiction usually are very paranoid. Those drugs essentially turn your brain into scrambled eggs, and you think that, you know, one person's out to get you, everybody in the room is talking about you, everybody in the room is listening to you. You know, have you ever been around somebody where they're automatically just like paranoid, shifting around and saying, oh my God, you're too loud, like, why are you so loud? Or everybody's listening, or like, be quiet. Because they're on drugs, they're on substances, and it's essentially fucking up their inhibitions, their cognitive thinking. It's essentially fucking up how they perceive the world and everything around them. They're sensitive to energy, they're hypersensitive to everything, and it ruins their charisma, their aura, their energy. And it helps me realize things even more the more I listen to the live stream, the more I replay it. So Bambii says in that live stream, I got all the evidence, I have all the evidence. Most of the times, people who are tweakers, drug addicts, people who don't know how to control themselves and have a substance issue, they always feel the need to document evidence. So if you ever dealt with someone as a drug addict, they're always recording people, they're always recording things, they're always documenting things because of their paranoia. You know, people who have drug problems like to document, record things because that's their way of making sense of things. So that way, if they're, you know, too doped up and too drugged up, they get to literally record things and then play it back to make sense of it. So that way no one thinks that they're crazy or people don't believe them. When you have a drug problem, your mind is shifting in so many directions. And sometimes you feel like you have to record stuff because a lot of people won't believe you or would generally think that you're crazy. So that's literally very telling. And I don't know what the fuck happened to her. I don't know if it's those hormone pills that fucked her up over time. But like I said in my video that I've made literally a couple weeks ago about her, that these doctors are literally using these trans people as lab rats. Of course, I think sometimes hormone pills can help people, but sometimes they're giving them these influx of just medication back to back from being a teenager up until adulthood. And when they give these children these medications from teenagehood to adulthood, I mean, it's not a coincidence that a lot of them have suicidal thoughts. It's not a coincidence that a lot of them have mental issues, are drugged up and on the streets and can't contain themselves. It's not a coincidence. And I will say, if anybody's watching this, knows anyone that's on drugs, or anyone's ever thought about experimenting with drugs, do it at your own risk, because drugs essentially over time destroy your kidneys, your liver. You're at higher risk of a heart attack. It obliterates your skin. It fucks up the way your hands look. And essentially it destroys your face, your lips, your teeth. Your whole aura and energy in essence will be obliterated because you decide to do drugs. So if you're going to do drugs, listen, I know people who have kids are probably watching this. Listen, if you're going to do drugs, at least do it in moderation, because drugs essentially destroy you. If you're not going to do it in moderation, just don't do drugs at all, because drugs fuck you up so badly to the point where there's literally a demon inside of you that is possessing you, whispering in your ear constantly, making you think everybody's out to get you, to the point where it's causing them to constantly burn bridges. People who are constantly on drugs are always homeless because nobody wants to pick up their slack or put up with their shit. They're profusely irresponsible to the point where they never pay their bills on time. They never want to ever, address issues such as like stacking up bills and obligations, or things going on such as going to work, None of that. They can't keep a job because they can't stay structured because they're always high. And that's what I saw in ItsBambii when I saw her get on live last night and completely throw up. Now, this live only lasted for a few minutes, but many of her fans were able to completely catch the live, screen record it, and a lot of her fans have been concerned and have been speaking out.
No, and no. I just got off ItsBambii's live. If you don't know, like, she was a YouTuber back in the day, whatever. She just had a live and she just ended it. And what she basically kept saying was that her mom and her sister and that side of the family were poisoning her and out to, like, her, you know? And she just kept throwing up. Like, she threw up about 10 times, and I was taking videos, I was taking pictures, and it was just so eerie. Like, I've never seen nothing like that. And she just looked so pale. She looked like not herself. I've never seen her that way before. And I had to say a little prayer while she was on live, and then she just abruptly ended it. Like, I just feel like everybody should say a prayer for her, because I don't know what is going on. We personally don't know her. She's very private about her life. And it just was so weird, bro. Like, what?
All I can think of is this sounds like the aftermath of somebody who's been doing crystal meth. I don't want to make assumptions, but for those y'all watching this who have loved ones, people that you once cared about who did do drugs or are on drugs, you know, they obliterate every single thing in their corner because that demon that's inside of them is literally just trying to make them destroy themselves from the inside out, intentionally trying to make them destroy themselves and destroy everybody else who's in their path. So please be wary, and everyone watching this, if you know someone who has a drug addiction or is on drugs, stay the fuck away from them. If you can't get them any help, you need to leave them alone. People who are on drugs, who are constantly homeless, the only thing that'll make them change is rock bottom. They need to lose everything. They need to literally get to a point where drugs have completely destroyed everything they have. Like, when you see those people on the streets who are homeless, who are begging, who are asking for help, most of those people have severe drug issues. They burnt every bridge. They burnt every friend. They burnt every relative. Nobody wants to help them for a reason. Anytime you see a drug addict on the streets, more than likely somebody did try to step in and assist them. But more than likely they burnt that bridge. Anytime someone's at a point where they're just asking you for money because they're an addict and they're dealing with addiction, whether it be alcoholism or drugs, you should not be giving them anything. Because if you give them stuff, they are going to use it to get high all over again, and they're going to keep coming back for seconds. They are manipulative and twisted people. That demon that's inside of them and possessing them is causing them to do destructive things. And then when they sober up, they want to do even more drugs because they carry so much shame because of what they did to other people and did to themselves. Oftentimes people will go on the internet and cry for help and make a fool of themselves while they're on drugs is because they want to get an audience. Now, it sounds fucked up to say, but a lot of times they want attention because when people are on drugs and they're putting themselves out there like that, it's usually because they want to see and sniff out if anybody else cares about them. They want to create a snowball effect where people then turn into, oh, are you okay? Are you fine? To see if people care about them, to test if people care about them. People who are on drugs are constantly going through a ripple effect where they know people don't give a fuck about them or don't care about them or don't care to invest their issues into them. And many people have even been running to Bambii's sister's comment section saying things such as, have you seen your sister? Is your sister okay? And her sister seems to just be pretty much living her life on vacation and hasn't really acknowledged what her sister did at all. And I will be honest, when I see shit like this, it makes me wonder, yeah, her sister probably cut her off because the drugs probably got so bad. If you go to both their social medias, they don't follow each other at all. And it leads me to believe that Bambii's bad habits have definitely caught up to her. And that's why she's at a point where she has nothing. And it's sad because stuff like this kind of reminds me of Maia Campbell. So if y'all don't know who Maia Campbell is, she was a very popular actress and video girl in the 90s. And she was in that LL Cool J sitcom called In the House. And she was beautiful. She had this beautiful chocolate skin, beautiful eyes. She was a gorgeous woman.
You know? And the bottom line is this. A woman who was sure wouldn't ask the question. Huh? That's one to grow on.
And now this is her.
This guy raped me, but he used condom and his dick was big and he...
How did he rape you with a condom?
Because he like grabbed me like
Wait,
that.
girl, what the fuck?
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
he was unhuman.
That's crazy.
Wait, I didn't say
Why he do you like that?
He thinks he's Bill Cosby. Like,
He said he was Bill Cosby?
yeah, he said he was Bill Cosby. He was all like,
So a nigga raped you and he said he was Bill Cosby.
But this is my real hair. And bitches ain't got really
bitches
heart.
ain't got no real hair. Show them your real shit.
Bitches ain't got heart.
Yeah, you ain't got big titties. Yeah, bounce that ass for a real nigga. Yeah. Yeah. Keep up. No, did you put 80? Wait, okay, no.
Oh, I didn't push it.
Okay, yeah. Right there. Yeah, we do 89.
Here's Cheetos.
He a cheater, so.
Cheetos.
I don't want no Cheetos.
Well, I want some crack.
You want some crack?
I was like, no cake. No cake to Gucci. And Persian. I bumped with a Persian stripper, bro.
You was fucking her?
Bro, she wanted to fuck me so bad, bro.
And I'll never forget that video from like 2009, back when World Star Hip Hop was lit, where basically she was in a car completely spazzing out, and a fan recorded her just having a whole spaz out moment and completely talking to herself like she was just a dope fiend on the street.
I'm gonna get beat up if you alright. Hey,
you talking to my people like that, like you crazy or something? Huh?
I'm gonna get beat up if you alright.
Why you alright?
You alright.
Maya Campbell pretty much spiraled into a crystal meth addiction, and she pretty much has always suffered from bipolar disorder. Crystal meth has pretty much made her bipolar disorder worse over time, and throughout the years, people have photographed her and filmed her asking for change, asking for help, and completely just doing the most absurd things while cameras are recorded. On top of that, people like Maya Campbell have had numerous opportunities to get her life together. I'll never forget when she went on Ayanla Fix My Life, and she sat down and apologized to her daughter for all the built up hurt and pain that she caused her daughter, who's now damn near in her mid-20s at this point. And her daughter pretty much has cut her off and wants nothing to pretty much do with her because Maya keeps spiraling into her drug habits. Then it also kind of reminds me of Amanda Bynes. I'll never forget, Amanda Bynes, I had the biggest crush on her as a kid. I absolutely loved her. And to see Amanda Bynes go from this cute little girl on The Amanda Show, on all that, to then spiral into Twitter rants where she's accusing her parents of microchipping her.
I'm 173 now, so I hope to get down to like 130, which would be awesome. So I look better in paparazzi pictures and you don't see my double chin from strange angles.
Where she's accusing her dad of molesting her and then saying that it wasn't true. And then other things such as, saying that Drake needs to murder her cootie cat and a bunch of other shit. It even reminds me of even the Orlando Brown situation. He's an even better example. Orlando Brown was a huge star way back in the 90s and early 2000s. You saw him everywhere. And then to see Orlando Brown get to a point where he's on Dslr Raven, then claiming him and Raven had an intimate relationship.
Can you explain?
I ate her pussy.
Okay, that's what we had thought. People have been saying it, and most of the people had thought that's what the...
I had the nam cakes. I went inside the land of the man that wants to go inside if he can, but couldn't do it, man. But I did. I said I could do it, and I can. And then because she said you like it, and so she said you like. I said yeah. She said yeah, you like it. I said yeah.
Sometimes doing drugs can just fuck up whatever else you had going on. If you already had schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or you were already somewhat autistic, a lot of times doing persistent amount of drugs can just cause a ripple effect and cause these things to get worse in your life. So I gotta honestly say this, if Bambii actually wants to do better in her life, she's gonna have to suffer and struggle even more because rock bottom is the only way. Sometimes people don't want the help. Sometimes people want to struggle and they want to manipulate you and coerce you into giving them more money to enable their antics. And that's that demon that's in them talking. Sometimes people got to go through severe rock bottom in order to grow. And if Bambii wants to improve her life, she kind of has to get her ass up, take responsibility for her actions, and get the help so that way she can be in a better predicament in life. But until then, she's going to be on the streets. She's going to be making a fool of herself. And this won't be the first live where she acts a fool like this. It may come across as insensitive what I'm saying, but it's the truth. I've dealt with an addict before. I've dealt with people that have severe drug addictions. And I know how it feels to go through the pain of having someone you care about suffer with drugs. It's not a pretty sight. It's not an interesting sight to see someone you care about not take the help, or when you do give them the help, they completely shit on it, throw it away, steal from you, lie to you, take from you, do the most horrendous shit to you and those that they care about. and then spiral even more. It's not a good feeling. The best thing people can do is to just pretty much separate themselves from Bambii and allow her to spiral even more so that way she can get her life together. And it sounds fucked up, but that's just how it is. And if you don't understand me, you've probably never dealt with an addict before. But that's that for this video. I hope you guys see where I'm coming from, and I hope you guys are able to just learn something from this whole breakdown. Like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch.
Holding hands, making plans, and it's lucky for me to understand what a girl wants, what a girl needs, whatever makes me happy sets you free, and I'm thanking you for how things happen. What a girl wants, what a girl needs, whatever makes me happy sets you free, and I'm thanking you for everything out there. What a girl wants, what a girl needs. Ooh, what a girl wants, what a girl needs.